Good morning, everyone. This is Iron Will Becker. And one of the things that my boys enjoy is what they call daddy stories. Stories about my life and some of the events that have happened during my lifetime. And last night, as I was tucking in my third, he wanted me to tell him a story. And I was really just like having a hard time. Morning, Shelby. Thinking of the story to share. Well, this is the story I told him. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, we lived in Germany. And we lived on a pretty busy street. Secondary thoroughfare through the town. And there was, I think, 4 lanes of traffic. Well, being an American in a foreign country, my mom, who knew some German, would take us into the community to shop and to do things instead of just doing everything on base. So, my mom felt that I was capable of going to the local bakery, which is about 2 blocks away, give or take, and getting the bread and the rolls, or brochen, if you would, and bringing it home. So I took the money and I took our little bag that we used, and I walked over there and I got the bread, I got the brochen, I got whatever it was my mom had wanted me to get. Well, on the way back, I was thinking about how fast I was as a runner. Kindergarten, excuse me. Kindergarten and first grade, we'd have an event called the field day. And I placed first place in a lot of those races. So I was, I thought I was pretty fast. So I decided to disobey the traffic laws. Excuse me. I decided to disobey the traffic laws and cross the street away from the crosswalk, and from between cars, because there was no cars coming. I couldn't see any cars. And I'm fast. I was real fast. Well, what I didn't see was the car pulling out. The cars parked along the side of the road. And as soon as my right leg went out, pow! Green stick fracture. The bread was gone. And I had the option then and the privilege of going to a German hospital. The German ambulance got to me before the Americans, and my mom got to me as they were putting me into the ambulance, and she asked the doctor, does he have to go? Can he go with you or can he go with the Americans? He's like, well, he crossed from our side of the street. We already have him. We can take him if you want. We can turn him over. And my mom decided to let me go with the German doctor and ambulance. I was like 9 years old. I don't really remember much from that point until waking up in the hospital. And my mom told me that I was kicking the doctors with my broken leg. Because I was pretty freaked out, I didn't understand them. I didn't know what they were doing. Needless to say, I spent a week in the German hospital. And while my mom could come and visit, I had younger brothers and sisters, so she couldn't stay with me by any means. And I did have a pretty nice Matchbox collection, Matchbox cars, collection of little cars. And I was telling this story last night. I realized that was my first experience, my first real experience with courage and overcoming fear. Because while I was relatively safe, I was still kind of scared to be alone in a hospital with people who don't speak English. I have no idea what's going on. At this point, too, I don't even remember how often my mom came to see me. I'm sure it was as often as she could, and it really isn't about that. And I realized then, or now, looking back at that experience, that was a much more defining moment in my life than I realized. So I spent a week in the hospital because of my leg had swollen pretty bad. And so they put on a temporary cast, and I don't even know what I did there. I don't even remember. Played with my cars. There was one kid on the ward that I played with some. He'd come over and sit by my bed. But the best part of this story is when I got out of the hospital, I got the chicken pox. My poor mom, she's a saint, as you know now, right? Got the chicken pox, stayed home for 2 weeks, and after that, my mom kicked me out of the house. Get out of the house, go out and play. Get done my homework, get out of the house, go out and play. But this whole thing, like, has been teaching me this whole experience. And I wanted to share it with you because I love the story about myself, because it reminds me of who I am. It reminds me of the lessons I was taught by my parents. And it reminds me of no matter what our fear is, if we face it, hey Jason, and we face our fear with courage, then we can overcome it. We can have the wherewithal to face those fears, overcome them, and become the master of that fear and of ourselves. So, yeah. Crazy kid story. And when I shared it with my son last night, I realized I wanted to share it with you guys. It happened when I was, Jason, to answer your question, it happened when I was about 9. We were living in Germany. So my friends, thank you for spending time with me. If you got value from this video, if you got a laugh from this video, please like it, please share it. I will be putting it up on my YouTube channel, where I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers this year. So I'd really appreciate it if you could get over there and share my channel, look at some of the content I have there to inspire you, to motivate you, and help build you up. All right, friends, go out and make it a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. New book review going up tomorrow, so I'll talk to you later.